the greatest driving, but got home, thank God. And yeah, it was. But the bad part is when I got home because couldn't get into my driveway, so
Oh God.
I had to go and shovel the snow
Oh
and
my.
get it back in. But yeah, I'm in a bit of a pain right now because I had to do that with a pinched nerve.
Oh my Lord. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
And it was
so
so windy as well. It wasn't just the snow, it was the winds. It
when
was wind and rain and ice pellets coming down and snow, and it was everything mixed up in one.
yeah, I got caught out at square one. I had to drive home from square one. So it took me some time to get. Had to do the side roads. Didn't
Yeah,
dare to go on the highway because the poor thing was a mess. So
I can imagine.
yeah,
I
but
just saw the weather report and said, you know what, it's a good night to stay home.
Roger, the next 2 days I'm staying in, hoping that the temperature as promised is 6 and 5
Yeah,
and melt most of the snow because I don't
that's,
want to shovel anymore.
I know, me too. I was looking out this morning and I said, oh, sun, please come out, please come out.
Yeah,
I need you to
yeah,
get rid of the snow. So you know how it
definitely.
is. But there's so much going on in sports, man. Everywhere you look, something crazy is happening. But I
There's a
don't know.
lot.
You want to start talking about what's going on in cricket because I saw some really weird stuff in
Yeah,
cricket.
there's a lot going on in cricket, but there's I think one of the best matches I've seen in a long time. Not the
India,
India,
Australia,
sorry, not
or
the
the New
India,
Zealand, England.
the New Zealand England game.
I
That
thought, and that's one that shocked me. I'm still in shock right now because I didn't even know you could give a follow on and lose the game. So, like, what happened here? By
yeah,
one run. Like,
I
oh
was
my
actually
God.
surprised that they gave the follow on actually because I thought that they would have probably batted again
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then but they chose to give a follow on and they lost by 1 run and that was nail biting
Can you imagine losing by one run? It's like, oh, in a test. It's not. This
in
is
a
not a
test.
T20 or anything like that. This is a test match.
And that makes you feel that test match cricket is still alive because a lot of people said it's dead. But I think watching that game, people
Yeah,
would have loved it and says, hey, that's good advertising for test cricket that it's
it
not
is.
totally dead. Um,
I totally agree with that. When I was like, oh my God, are they really gonna not make it? That's what I was saying. Are they not gonna make it? And they didn't. Like,
well,
oh wow, interesting stuff though.
the over before when I saw, there was a four hit, and I said, okay, well, England just need 2 runs now, and
Exactly.
they're gonna win. And I thought it was going to be very easily because James Anderson hit the four, and he's not someone who normally hits,
Normally,
hits
yeah,
boundaries.
yeah.
And a misfield by one of New Zealand's best players, Kane
Hmm.
Williamson,
Yeah,
thought, well, they should win. But then Neil Wagner had different thoughts, and
yeah.
it was something else. But England, good series. Glad to see the kind of aggressive cricket that England is playing. I keep saying Australia, thinking
I
of
know.
another game. We'll come to that in a bit, but yeah, that England is playing some fantastic cricket.
Cricket, no. But when I looked at, I mean, because I had to look up and say, did this ever happen before in history? And I realized this is the fourth time it's happening.
Correct.
The first time was like in the 1890s, but the three times before it was all Australia on the losing
Australia.
end.
Yeah.
They're always losing. It's like, okay, but now England decided that it's their time.
And
So
then there's that famous tied test match as well with Australia and West
Australia,
Indies.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Australia just seems to be in the middle of everything. That's crazy. Well,
They are.
not this time though. But it was interesting for me because I was just totally shocked. It's like, oh my God, does this really happen? It
No,
certainly
I
does.
I was back and forth watching the game one day and what's going to happen. I thought one time it looked like New Zealand and
Yeah,
England brought it back. When the captain Stokes was batting, I thought,
I thought it was
England.
going to be done. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
When he was there, I was like, okay, this is it.
yeah, he was there with Root, and I
Yeah,
thought, they look good. It didn't, but both of them got out silly, you
I
know,
know.
and then
It's a sort
it,
of a surprise for me because they're two responsible, well, not so much Stokes, but
Root,
responsible gentlemen on the cricket pitch. So
Joe Root, yes,
I
exactly.
thought he would have just battened down and gotten them through.
The fantastic test match for sure, and the shocking thing for me, Roger, was that the day after that test match finished,
Hmm.
England was back on the field playing one day.
I was shocked about that too. I
And
thought there was something wrong with that scheduler in there. It's like, did I make a mistake? Weren't they supposed to be playing over there? What are they doing here playing that one day now?
yeah, but it shows the strength of the England cricket right now because none of the players who played in that Test series are in this England team. It's a completely different team that went to the one day.
Ah, I was wondering. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
I was saying, these guys must be tired, but oh, that explains it then.
Yeah, so you've got guys like Jafra Archer, Chris Wokes, Mark Wood, Moeen Ali, Adil Rashid. Those are the guys who are playing. Saul, Jason Roy. In fact, Butler is captain in that side.
Oh, okay, okay, but
So it's a totally different side. But it just England, I guess, trying to show India you're not the only one with the power. We have a powerhouse team too.
I noticed.
And
England have stepped up their game big time, and yeah, it's good to see what they're doing.
yeah, they have some good cricketers. So England, they're 2-0 in that series and one to play. So
Hmm.
they've won that series. Bangladesh just have to play for pride and being home. You want to win a couple of games, so they have
Yeah,
to just come back and try and do something.
yeah, difficult though, very
Gonna
difficult.
be very difficult for them for sure. It's not easy, but very good. Good for. I'm glad that series tied, and then the Bangladesh Australia. I mean Bangladesh England. But so let's talk a bit now about the Australia India game
Yeah,
because
that was another exciting one.
that was another exciting match, and the game I didn't expect it that way because Australia visiting India, but India won the toss very comfortable,
Hmm.
and they batted first, but they were bowled out for 109. So what Australia did is what you'd have expected of India: played two
Right.
spinners.
Yep, yep.
And yeah, so Kloonman in the first innings he had 5 wickets and three to Nathan Lyon, and then it switched in the second innings when Nathan Lyon had eight. So I think that they did a good job. That indoor pitch was rated as not good by ICC, and
Oh,
now
really?
yes, I was given three demerit points, and there's a lot of debate about it because Rohit Sharma, the Indian captain, came out and said he asked for a certain type of wicket. And, so he asked for a spinner's wicket, a pitch that was spinning from day one,
Hmm.
but it worked against him.
Yeah.
He got what he wanted, but Australia
He got more than he wanted.
more than he wanted, yeah.
Oh my, that's embarrassing. You asked for a pitch, you got it, and then you still lose.
And the key thing about the Australian team to watch is that Steve Smith captained that game
Yeah,
because the
so that.
captain was not available. He was home
Yeah, yeah,
dealing with some family business comings. So Steve Smith was captain. And is it something that Australia are going to start to look at? Because remember, Steve Smith was the captaincy was taken because of that
yeah,
sandpaper gate.
yeah. Him and Warner, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Went down for what is it, 1 year and 2 years or something like that.
Yeah. 1 and 2 years. And
Yeah. So I mean, for him to come back from that and be back as captain would be something.
yeah, it would be. But Warner, who people are now asking him to resign, to retire, because he's
Because of the
36. He's not
because of the
playing
hits
well.
he's been getting in his head, or
Yes. And he's 36 years old, not scoring a lot
okay.
of runs. I think he had a double century some time ago. But other than that, he's not been consistent. So they're asking for him to step down. And will he do it? I don't think so.
I'm mixed on that because I think he still has a lot to offer. I mean, I'm not an Australian, so don't get me wrong, but I mean, he still seems like a solid player who's just probably having a little patch right now. But I think he's still good. I think he has a couple more years to go, if you ask me.
That's so true. But with that win, Roger, Australia through to the World Test Finals. So they play at Lords in June.
I
And
saw that. I saw that.
India not yet through. They have to win the next game or the next series, which I think basically you could say India is has a foot in the door because
Yeah,
Sri Lanka has to go to New Zealand and win two test matches in New Zealand in
that's
order to
hard.
go through, and that's going to
That's
be
hard.
tough. So I
That's
would
tough.
I would think it's going to be an Australia and India finals
I
for the
know.
test.
Yeah. But quick question though, how long was this game, Australia India? How many days?
This was 2.5 days, and that's the thing that's many are
It's blown.
saying.
It's blown my mind. I used
It's
to see that in West Indies 4-day cricket, not in Test cricket.
it's a trend that's happening in India when they're home. it's 2.5 day cricket is going happening, and
Wow.
that's something that's been said now. It's like, do what's the point of preparing these type of pitches when your game is going to finish in 2.5 days?
Days.
Yeah,
I'm a little, well, first of all, if I'm a ticket person, I bought some tickets to go to this game and I'm getting there and it's done already, then I wouldn't be happy either. But I'm wondering if it's the aggressive nature now of maybe, you know, test is getting all this knockdown that it's dead and all of that, and now they want to make it more enterprising. So they're more aggressive, I will say, when they're playing out there. But I think most games are now ending in 3 days. Very few go to five. Very, very few.
yeah. Very few go to 5 days. Four, yeah, but three is a bit. 2.5 is a bit
It's a bit short.
short.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's a bit
short game.
short.
So at
Yeah,
first I was like, maybe it's because these guys are playing all these T20, T10s, and all of that. But from what you're saying, it's almost like two different teams. So
yeah. It's
one
like
doesn't really affect the other. But the game has changed so much that it's like you don't need 5 days anymore.
no, it's very quick. It's very, but I think India is an exception because of the type of pitches they produce,
True,
and
true.
I
But even
think,
West Indies though, because even West Indies, South Africa, that was
well,
3 days as well, right?
that's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, West Indies, South Africa. Yeah, since we're on that, we can talk about the West Indies, South
Okay,
Africa.
so talk about Australia. Well, if you're not done in Australia, we
Okay.
can go back to them in India.
Yeah, I think we're done with Australia and
Oh,
India
okay.
because they basically played a great series. They've
It
had
was a great.
one more match to play. One question that comes up in Test cricket, and well, we can move into this and then talk about West Indies. But Jason Holder commented that the other teams are playing much more cricket than them. Because in this test match, Jason Holder became the second West Indian to take 150
Hmm.
test wickets and score 2,500 runs. Only Sir Gary Sober's ever done that before.
Yeah.
So he said he don't know if he'll ever get to his goals because they don't. They West Indies played 6 matches last year and only 6 test matches again this year. So
Oh,
the other teams are playing series of 4 and 5,
okay.
whereas West Indies are playing three
Two.
series of two.
Twos. Yeah, no, they're
And
two.
the other question I have is when you play two, you said you have a World Test Championship. How
Mm.
is it some teams will play so many games, less
And
games,
others play. Yeah.
and others play so many more? Like,
Yeah.
so how? So it's come to a point now where they're saying they actually don't tally this by the number of wins. It's actually the percentage of wins. For example, Australia's played 18 test matches so far in the
Hmm.
test championship, India 17, England played 22,
Whoa.
and Sri Lanka 10, West Indies 12, New Zealand 11, Bangladesh 12, South Africa 14, Pakistan 14. So the disparity is really huge.
It is, and just you doing the math, the more you play, the better chance you have of getting a better percentage.
Exactly.
So, I mean, England with a 22, I mean, yeah, they had more opportunities to fix their percentage. So something has to be, they got to have a minimum then. If that's what they're doing, a minimum and a maximum. If you're going to have this, then it's going to be a problem.
You can't call it a test championship when one team is playing 10 games more than the other
The
or
other,
12
yeah,
games more. Yeah,
yeah,
so
makes no
I
sense to
think
me either.
ICC need to look at that and come up with a better formula.
They definitely do. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't look right. So, yeah,
Exactly.
22 to 10. That's a huge disparity there.
I
But yeah, I
mean,
was wondering about this two test thing because they went to Zimbabwe two tests now, then South Africa two tests. So I was wondering, is that normal? Because usually they have longer series than that.
they do, but ICC have come up with this. Instead of saying they wanted to come up with a tier system with like 2 tier test playing countries, but
Okay.
instead of doing that, what they do it in a smarter way by just giving you 2 test matches and letting
Uh,
the big three play play 4 and 5 matches. Even New Zealand, look at that. The New Zealand, who's a good team in my opinion, they're
yeah.
limited to 2 test matches against England. That doesn't make sense.
Okay. So that's so there's some knowledge, some reason to what they're doing. It okay. So it makes so Australia, England, and India are the top three.
They're the top three.
So everybody else gets screwed.
Yes. So they basically say the big three get everything they want. Like when England play Australia, in the summer for the Ashes. That's 5 matches,
Five
five
matches.
test matches.
Yeah, yeah.
Australia and India is four. And, so England and India is four test matches. So we really need to have something different. As you said, you can only get player the more better the more matches you play.
You play, right? Yeah, the
Yeah.
opportunities for. Well, that's unfortunate that they decided to go with that. Oh my! So I
Yeah.
guess that was voted on or something because that's a big change.
Yeah, it's something that they instead of having a tier system, they just control it that way, which
That's not good for the. So the big guys will always be big, and the little ones will always be little.
and not just big by playing more matches in terms of the money. Like
Money, yeah, of course.
India gets 400 plus million from ICC, whereas West Indies probably get 30, 40 million,
Oh my
60 million.
word!
So it's a big difference in it what the
Wow.
countries get, and India is even asking for more.
Wow.
Yeah,
I guess the
because
bigger you are, the bigger you want to get, so the more you can get, you gotta take it. Oh my word! I don't.
because they're saying that the majority of revenue comes from India, so
And they may have a point.
they probably have a point. Yeah,
They may have a point. They have the biggest
mm,
everything. So
that's for sure.
and they have the biggest crowds of everything because they have so many people. And so yeah, at the end of the day, they have a reason to. England probably feels the same. That should be they should be getting more too.
That's for real. When we talk about West Indies and South Africa, that first test, Roger, I don't know how much of the test you watched. I was disappointed. I think with South Africa winning by 87 runs. They looked good in the first innings, 200 plus for one wicket, but then West Indies fought back and kept them to 342. West Indies scored 212. Raymond Reefer was the top scorer with 62. In the first innings for West Indies, Joseph getting his first five for. He had five for
So that
81.
yeah,
He
yeah,
looked very good and aggressive.
yes,
And
yes.
then
I like his aggression. I think that's making a difference. If he can keep it up, I think he's gonna do fairly well.
in the second innings, I was so happy to see West Indies fight back, 116 bowling out South Africa. And I thought,
Yes,
that they bowled poorly in the first innings at the start, and I didn't think South Africa was a 300 plus team. And
yeah.
with the 116 to me, okay, it's chasing 247. I thought West Indies had a chance, as you said, with two and a
They
half
had
days.
2 days to do it. So it's like what? That's the part I couldn't understand. It's like okay, they got
Yeah.
2 days, 2 plus days. They can take their time, go out there and just stand up. It's a test match and get to the 240. That's what I thought.
Well, only one person stood up, and that was Jermaine Blackwood. And Jermaine Blackwood, he did something I like because the South Africa bowlers were aggressive, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to go back to my aggressive style,
Play
and he
my game.
counterattacked. Yeah, and
Yeah,
he
he played
batted
his
really
game.
well. And I was disappointed he didn't get to 100, and
Yeah, me
someone
too.
else didn't stick around with him. At one point, the Silver and Jason Holder looked good,
Yes,
like they're going to
yes,
stick around, but it
yeah.
doesn't. What this shows for the West Indies for the captain Craig Brathwaite and Chanderpaul, because everyone was getting excited about
They
Chanderpaul.
failed. Both of them failed
They
twice.
failed twice, and the bouncier wickets, they're
Yes,
not going to
yes,
be as good, and they need to adjust on
yeah,
those wickets. So
correct,
just
correct.
one more test to do it to salvage one test. I think I think West Indies is capable of winning against South
You think
Africa.
so?
I
Because I
think
mean, they're
so.
saying that we haven't beaten South Africa in South Africa since, as I said, Wapplefield kill Phillip, which was like in the 1990. I don't even know how
90,
long.
yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
So a lot of
But
big teams have gone there and can't do it. So this little team,
even England didn't do it, yeah. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's
But I
something going on
think
down there.
I think West Indies have the goods to do it, just to put it
They
together.
do. They do.
You
Well,
know,
I think they need to. I'm not so sure about the choices that they made. I mean, I didn't think Reefer should have been on the team, but you know what? He was top scorer in the first inning. So
he
what can I
fought. He's a
say?
fighter, and
Yeah, what can I
yeah,
say? But I mean, the opening stand has to be better.
I like to see young Athens get a chance. It's I don't know. Chase every time he gets an opportunity, he's just disappointing.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah. I don't. I wasn't. I'm never keen on Chase and Reefer so much. But yeah, I think if the openers get a decent start, then we may have a shot at beating. But yeah, if they're gonna fail all the time, it's gonna put the pressure on the middle, and the middle is a little brittle in my opinion. So I'm not sure. I mean, Blackwood is not somebody you can rely on to say every time he's gonna go out there and do really well. And yeah, I was happy to see this because he's been struggling a bit. But yeah, I'm not sure who's going to hold up the middle. And I
Right.
think that's the problem right now. That's why we need those openers to get a decent score, get over 100 opening
Yeah, for
stats.
sure. Well, South Africa captain Bavuma, a mixed test for him because he had a win, which is good for in his first test cup, but he had a pair. He scored two ducks.
The two ducks. I was like,
Yeah,
what a way to take over the captaincy. Duck on
yeah.
the duck. I was like, okay, a double egg.
But he said he was inspired by Brian Lara because he said Brian Lara sent him a message.
Really?
And yeah, he said Brian sent him a message, and he said Brian came to him and said, "Big respect, big up, all respects to
Nice,
you for the position you have,"
nice,
and
nice.
wished him well. And he said he had to pinch himself, you know.
One of the greatest ever is coming to me and bigging me up.
Yeah, because he said that's the person he looked at. He used to. He surprisingly he said he used to support West Indies growing up. That was his
Wow.
team.
Wow, look at that, eh?
Look, yeah,
And
so
now he's the captain of South Africa.
South Africa, yeah,
Wow, that's interesting. But yeah, Brian Lara is a very influential, and I love what he's doing. He's out there now. For a
he's
while, he was sort of out of it, and you didn't hear about him. But now I think he's digging and he's out there with the team, and he's very vocal and all of that, which is really really appreciated. And I think the sports side needs that, especially the West Indies team.
for sure. Well, just to wrap up, because we know there's a lot happening in track and field, and I was wondering what's going on with the water or something that they're using. But so we'll just wrap up the cricket so we can get to that because I have to ask you what is going on. The WPL kicks off today, the women's with our current match is Mumbai Indians versus the Gujarat Giants women, and the Mumbai Indians feature West Indian Haley Matthews. She scored 47 in 31 balls. The sad news is that Deandra Dottin is out. She's recovering from an illness, not
Oh
disclose
my.
what the illness is, so she's out of the tournament. She withdrew, and she was replaced this morning. And secondly, a bit of a surprise to me, but Ramarak, the West Indies medium pacer, she was named
Mhm.
to the team of the Women's World Cup for T20. She was the only West Indian. I thought
I was a
Haley
little confused
Matthews.
by that because
Yeah,
Haley Matthews did a fantastic job in the tournament.
yeah.
I didn't say Ram Harak did a bad job, but she wasn't spectacular or anything like that. So
No, she wasn't.
how did she get in? I was saying, okay, her sister is on Sportsmax TV. Maybe
Mhm.
and that's a name out
That's
there. I don't know if that's what it is because I didn't know what she did to get in.
oh, that's her sister on Sportsmark. Okay, I see
Yes,
them
yeah,
rolling. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she.
It's her
I
sister.
was. Yeah, I was like a little. Maybe it's that three. She had one game where she had 3 wickets in 1 over, so maybe that helped her. So, but
I don't know
other
how
than
they pick these teams, but I mean, that to me is just a one-off that happens odd.
yeah,
Doesn't happen all the time.
yeah, I thought Haley Matthews should have been there, and
Because good Haley did. Like,
yeah,
he put the team on their back and got
correct.
nothing out of it. I'm a little surprised that, yeah, I don't know how they pick these teams, but yeah, that was a little strange for me.
It's picked by the commentators and announcers, and I
Okay.
guess basically whoever they see at the time that
Yeah.
they get a couple. Yeah, so
Wow. Interesting, interesting. But at least I was happy about at least one West Indian got onto the team.
yeah, that's very
Yeah.
interesting. Happy to see that for sure.
Yeah, we need more of that happening because right now Western is just low, and we just need anything that can lift the spirits for women's cricket in the West Indies.
Yeah, for sure. That's it for me with cricket for now, Roger. So yeah, we need to talk some track and field, and you're listening to Love Bay Afro Beats, Caribbean Music Talk Radio. And you're listening to the England Roger Sports Hour. And now we get into some track because when I saw even the, well, I don't know what you're going to start with, but the first thing I noticed was that the women's heptathlon, is it?
Pentathlon,
Pentathlon
yeah,
indoor?
yeah,
Wow.
indoor pentathlon.
So I'll let you talk about that. Those,
Yeah, yeah. So you're right, Ingle. Just looking at it, it's like, okay, it's like how many world records are we gonna have this year? Because just one weekend alone, we had four, and it's like, oh my God, what is going on out here? But yeah, this weekend is the European Championships over there, and Thiam, Naf- Nafasatu Thiam from Belgium, she hardly loses. One of my favorite athletes. When I was in Oregon, I made sure I got a bunch of pictures with her. But
mm,
she hardly loses. You know, she wins the heptathlon at the Olympics, at the World Championships, and she's just solid. And I think, I don't know how you best to put it, but she got pushed to the limit. England, talk about being pushed to the limit. She had to fight to win this because the person that came second broke the previous world record as
Broke.
well. So this wasn't a small competition. She knows how to step up, which is what I love about her. Because at the end of the day, she was going up against Poland's Adriana Sulek, right? And she came in, and before the record was set in 2012, it was 5,013 points. And Sulek went up and she made 5,014 points. So, of course, Miss Tiam had to step up and make sure that she did everything she had to do, and she ended up with 5,055 points.
Right, right.
So she sort of blew it out of the water, but it was just captivating to watch them go at it because, can you imagine you're the Polish girl Sulek and you're going and you're breaking a world record and someone comes and still beats you. So it was an exciting, and you know what? It's a pentathlon, so normally you don't get that amount of excitement. But to see both girls going at this world record, and it was exciting to watch. So, pretty cool. That was a fantastic world record for Belgium's Nafasatu Tiam in the pentathlon, 5,055 points.
Question about the pentathlon and heptathlon is that why, after they've gone through all this grueling events,
Yeah,
they, that they end with an 800?
just to make it harder. So you know what? If you watch the decathlon and you listen to all these guys talk, Mike Smith from before, Damian Warner now from Canada, like at the end of it, you gotta go out there. You gotta run a 1,500-meter race. So
Right,
it it's one of the hardest thing to do. So yeah, I thought about it at once, and I said, you know what, they just want to make sure they're showing
but
the strongest of the strongest who can
it's
do
fine.
this. Because
Right,
at the end of the day, after doing that over 2 days, I couldn't get up and go run a 1,500 meter. I can guarantee you
right.
that. And a lot of them just go there. If they have enough points, they just go there and jog because that's all they have left. So it is a real grueling event, but that's why they usually say the person who wins that is the greatest athlete in the world. They've started taking that away and giving it to the sprinters these days.
The sprinters, yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, to do that and do that consistently, especially the way that TM is doing it, or even Damian Warner is doing it from Canada and the men, it's very, very difficult to do. And they truly deserve to be told that they are the greatest in the world.
Hmm.
It doesn't work like that, unfortunately, but maybe we need to get back to that. In the 80s, when Daley Thompson was doing it for Great Britain, like
Right.
was world champion and Olympic champion, and nobody could beat him, he was considered the greatest athlete in the world. But it moved on to the sprinters. Then it's, oh no, it's Carl Lewis. Oh no, it's
Yeah.
Donovan Bailey.
It's,
Oh, it's
yeah.
Usain Bolt. It certainly changes a lot.
My greatest sprinter, maybe I can't talk. I don't care whatever happened, just banning this person, whoever, you know, maybe I can't talk about, but my greatest sprinter of all time was Ben Johnson.
Ben,
Yeah.
a very nice guy. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
in touch with him from time to time, but he he did. I don't know. He was out of this world, out of
Yeah.
this world. Tainted, but out of this world when he was
Painted it,
on the
yeah,
track.
for sure.
Um, he had some performances, yeah, way ahead of his time, way way ahead of his time. And the truth is, he probably could have gone faster. Remember, he did that 979 with like 10 meters ago. His hand was up in the
His
air
hand
already.
was up in the air, yeah.
So what could he have done? I have no idea. But I mean, it's going to be thrown out. But
It's thrown
it's
out, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, he was doing some things on the track which you can't compare to. Just unfortunate that he was doing it illegally. So, but yeah, he's a nice guy. Spoken to him a couple of times, and genuinely nice guy.
Great.
Just unfortunate circumstances around him. But we had some other world records as mentioned, because Ryan Krauser, who's also a very nice guy, I met him over in Oregon as well, and he's actually from there, and he always knows how to win the shot put event. And now he's going after world records, and he's breaking them both indoor and outdoor. And this time he shot 23.38 meters in Idaho. So now he's that's 77 feet and two and three quarter inches.
Hmm.
And I'm telling you, man, just to watch this man perform, Ingle. As I say, sometimes it may sound weird, but I actually enjoy watching the shot put, when especially he's in there because he always makes it like he's full of energy, he's all of that, and yeah, it's I'm happy for him to see him go and break this world record. He deserves to have it, and let's see how long he can keep it for. But it was awesome to see him doing it. Now the world
Absolutely.
record is Sweden's Amanda Duplantis. Now he's the world pole vaulting king, as I should call him,
Hmm.
and he knows how to play the system, as I say. So every time you break a world record, Ingle, you get $100,000 from World Athletics.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why they're doing it then.
So he knows how to break it just by 1 centimeter.
Right.
So this is the sixth time in like the last 2 or 3 years that he's breaking it. So he doesn't break it and go 3 centimeters over. He just goes up by one. Right?
Hmm.
So he moved from 618, 6'9". So he keeps going. Now he's at 622, adding 1 centimeter at a time. And yeah, he did it in France. Amanda Plantis, another world record in the pole vault. So he's indoor and outdoor world record holder. And I think he's like 23 or something. So he's not old or anything. He's a young man.
He
Um,
understands economics and investment.
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not like in the 100 or 200 you can say I'm going to gauge myself where I'm going to. You can't do that. But where he's at, and you could probably do it in the high jump as well. He can do it for sure, and he's doing it just 1 centimeter at a time. So he may do it one more time outdoor this year, so that would make him another 100,000. Yeah, it's Ingle. He's in a good spot. He's in a
Yeah.
great spot. I can tell you that. But you know what? He's exciting to watch, and what I loved about him is also a lot of fun because remember he challenged, and I'm not sure if it's going to happen this year, but late last year he challenged Shelly Fraser Price.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, to go against her in a 100-meter race, and she was going off about but she doesn't know how fast he is. But yeah, so let's see if it actually that England I'd love to see if he can throw away that pole vault and get on the track and say, "Come on, Shelly, and let's do this." That would be fun. I don't know where your money would
That,
be.
it's typical for a woman to beat somebody who's a top athlete, but
It is.
I would like to see Shelly-Ann, but I doubt it.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think you have to generate a lot of speed when you're doing the pole vault, and he does that really well. That's why he goes so high. I don't know how fast he is, but the fact that he was confident, because he's the one who pitched it. It wasn't
Hmm.
she pitching, it was him. So the fact that he's confident enough to say, "I'll take you on," sort of tells me that he probably can go a 10-3 or a ten
You
four.
probably can do that.
So I'm like, you know what? He knows what he's doing. But yeah, I think I'd put up big money just to watch a race like that. It would be fun to see for sure. Another world record angle from this young lady that I keep talking about every week. I'm a huge fan of her, I must admit. And she's the Dutch athlete Femke Bol. Now, she broke the world indoor 400-meter record at the
Yeah.
Dutch Indoor Championships, clocking a sensational, now this is no joke time, 49.26 indoors. I'm just like,
Indoors.
whoa. Talk about out of this world. Talk about out of this world. So she breaks one of the longest standing records that's been there from the 80s. From the 80s. And the thing is, the lady that had that, Katarzyna from Czechoslovakia, in the actual outdoor 400, she ran 47.9.
Mm.
So if she's gonna crash this world record like that, and the world record is 49.5 indoors, now she brought it down to 49.2.
Me
So she
too.
didn't just break it. She as they say in Jamaica, she broke it
She's
up.
yeah.
She demolished it.
She smashed it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really bad. So I'm thinking Ingle. I you know what? It's gonna be interesting to see her go up against Sidney McLaughlin for sure.
Sydney
But
McLaughlin.
I think this flat 400 world record is in serious danger. 47.60,
Forty-seven
Marita
six. Yeah.
Kosh, right?
Yeah.
I think it is in serious danger this year. I don't even think it's going to be next year. I think it's going to be this year because Ballers come out. She set a world 500-meter world record. Now she has set a world 400-meter world record. She has a huge personal best in her 200. She's gone down to 22.8 now indoors in the 200. Before she wasn't that fast, which was her problem. But now she has gotten so fast that I think she's almost unstoppable.
Hmm.
Almost unstoppable, right? So, of course, she has a 300-meter hurdles world record as well, but they don't really do that race a lot. So, yeah, but that's
Yes.
36.86, but she has it. So,
She has a few records to her name right now.
she has at least three. And right now, everyone is going to look for, I mean, she's running today in the Euros final in the 400. So, let's see if she's going to break it again. But I think everyone is looking to see outdoors when she goes up against Sydney McLaughlin and I think Mo, who is also I think being trained to do this. So
to the
uh,
floor.
yeah, because I think Mo was NCAA 400-meter champion, earning 49.5, and that wasn't her pet race, you know. But now that both her and Sydney are together, I'm pretty sure the coach is having them go at it and probably push themselves in training. So I'm guessing Ingle. That three, you know what I'd love to see though? This three go up against Sherika Jackson, Gabby Thomas, and Abby Steiner. Actually would
Yeah.
love to see those all line up in a 300 because the 200 people coming up to the 200 people, they need to get that 300, and I think that would be a really, really, really exciting race. But over the 400, I think it's going to boil down to the three I mentioned: Femke Ball, I think Mo, and Cindy McLaughlin, and not disrespecting those that are actual 400-meter runners,
Right.
like Paulina from Dominican Republic and all of that, because she's like world champion behind Shawnee Miller Weibo, but I will say that the regular 400-meter runners, they're going to be in trouble. These
Didn't
two
she
400-meter hurdlers and the 800 girl are going to take over that race.
didn't she promise some faster times this year as well?
Is that?
Didn't she promise some faster times this year as well? The Dominican the 400.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Paulina. Yeah, and
Paulina, yeah. She said she's
and I
gonna run faster this
yeah,
year, right?
and she's the only one that went 48, right?
Right.
So, but I mean, if I'm gonna go 49.2 indoors, then I don't worry about your 48.9 outdoors
40.
because I'm gonna kill you out there. But yeah, so at least Paulina knows what she's up against. But she's a very dangerous one as well. It would be very, very good to see how low she can go. I don't see her going 47, but I see the other three that I mentioned going 47. So the 400 is going to be the place to be this year for the women, or one of the places to be, because we still have this young lady in there, Abby Steiner, and she had broken the American record going 300 meters indoors. And she's run 48 on her splits in her relays. So it's I saw the world championship and she ran on the 4x1 and the 4x4, and both races she did extremely well. A lot to look
Fantastic.
forward there. So England, I'm telling you, man, some hot, hot, hot races are going to be out there this year. Very hot races. Some other records that we see dropping, the 60 meters is becoming a place to just run 6.9 whenever you want. And Aliyah Hobbs, she
Yeah.
set a US record with a sensational 6.94 in the 60-meter final of the US Indoor Championship. So a very, very fast race. The world record is 692. So she's almost there. She's almost there. I don't think Shelly has gone this fast. So it's going to be
Shelly,
interesting to see what Aliyah Hobbs does outside.
Shelly gonna run indoor or she just stay away from
Nah,
indoor?
no, she's staying away from. She has run it a couple of years before, but not this year. She's been very picky, quite rightly so,
Hmm.
in her races that she's choosing now. So she skipped indoors. She says she's probably not likely going to run the 200 meters either, and she has come out and said that the Paris Olympics is going to be her final event. So she's saying
Okay.
she's ready to retire. She's 36 now,
She's 30, yeah.
so she's not that young. So, but yeah, she's saying she's probably going to retire. Well, she's not probably. She will be retiring after the Paris Olympics. So it's going to be
So
very interesting to see.
so when we get outdoors, is we know the three Jamaicans at the top, but is Aliyah Hobbs someone to watch as probably pushing them in the 100 meters when
You know what?
outdoor season starts?
From a U.S. point of view, in my opinion, she has always sort of been the one from the U.S. I mean, a lot of people talk about Shakari Richardson, who
Hmm.
I don't know if she's what she's doing. She seems half
I
crazy most of the times, but
don't, yeah, I don't.
extremely talented. So you just never know. But Alia Hobbs has been pretty consistent, and the surprising thing for her, England, and you might find it shocking. She was like NCAA champion and all of that, and she always run really well. But then she gets injured and doesn't perform when she needs to perform.
Hmm.
And she did something this year. She adopted a kid.
Oh wow.
So, and she said since the adoption, and it's the truth, since the adoption, she has been unbeaten. She said it just gave her so much more focus and all of that. So she adopted a kid, and since then, I think she's gone six twice, and she's 7 zeros and unbeatable. So let's see if she can translate it outdoors and become a challenger to the Jamaican three. But also Dina Asher Smith, because she broke the British national record for the 60 meters when she went 7.03. So she's coming from 7.08 down to 7.03. So she's flying as well. So everybody's stepping up their game. This is everybody in Jamaica is thinking that we have all these riches, but I can tell you, everybody has to be on top of their games if they want to be on top of the podium in Budapest because it's going to be extremely, extremely close.
Well,
And it's
that's
not only
that's good for an exciting track season.
oh yes, and not
That's
only that, we have our Caribbean mates, Julian Alfred,
yes, the St.
awesome,
Lucian.
awesome young lady, yes, from St. Lucia, and she ran 6.97, the first NCAA athlete to ever go under 7 seconds.
Wow.
So she's destroying the record. She had the record before at 7.04, but now she's 6.97. So she's next level. And she not only did that, she came back in the 200 meter and ran 22.26, the second fastest time indoors for NCAA runner ever. So she's doubling English. So she's going to be very, very dangerous as well. So as I said, the Jamaicans got to look out because everybody is coming with their A game this year, and they got to make sure they know what they're doing. We also saw a couple of Jamaican indoor records as well. Lamara Distin, who's a Commonwealth champion, high jump champion, and she made the finals at the World Championship as well. But yeah, she did 197 meters, and she's NCAA champion, and she's winning SEC for the third year. So it's going to be interesting to see how high she goes. She's very confident that she's going to get to 2 meters this year, so I'm looking forward to that. While a young man, Tyrese Roden, over there at Clemson, he broke the Jamaican indoor 800-meter record, running 146.5, which is interesting to see because he's coming from 148 before, so he came on really well. But I've had very high hopes for this young kid since he has been running in Jamaica in high school. So he's getting confident too, and he believes he's gonna. He actually says at NCAA's next weekend he's planning to go 145.
And not
So
not something you associate Jamaicans with either.
no, no,
Yeah,
but you know what? No, we're talking about 800, talking about
yeah,
high jump.
yeah.
Jamaica is trying to diversify as much as possible. They have a bunch of
Good.
throws. They have some in the long jump now. Wayne Pinnock jumped 831, which is a big personal best for him, which will get him in the finals of any world championships or Olympics. So it's changing. They're spreading out not just from the sprints, they're going out into other field events and other events. Last weekend, though, Ingle was the Gibson Relays in Jamaica. And of course, as you mentioned, the sprint merchants. So we saw Akeem Blake. So these are the up and comers, Akeem Blake and Oblique Seville. Last year, Akeem Blake did 9.93, Oblique Seville did 9.87. And 20, they're 20, 21 and 20, right? So they're young kids, and this is supposed to be the replacement for Usain Bolt. So they all clashed over 60-meter with the old man of this 33-year-old Johan Blake in there as well. It was a fast race. It was a close race. It was, I tell you, Ingle, it was exciting to see all three of them across the track just going down on it. I'm like, whoa, track
Hmm.
and field sprinting for the men is back in Jamaica. So it was really, really good to see. Also in that race was Zarnell Hughes, who trains in Jamaica, as many people know. Formerly, he's from Anguilla, but he represents
Yeah,
Great
he's
Britain.
uncle. Yeah,
And yeah, he was there too. So it was Akeem Blake winning in 6.42 over Oblique Seville, also in 6.42. With Zarnell, he was 6.45, and Johan Blake also
six point.
6.45. So
Yeah.
you can imagine England four across the track going down. It's like, whoa,
Well, yeah, I saw the race and it was very, yeah, it was close.
very close, very exciting. On the female side, we saw Tina Clayton. She's the world junior champion 2 times over in 100 meters. And she just showed that she's going to be a fourth. So, we talk about the big three, and some people are saying maybe
Yeah.
she can break up the big three. You never know. You never know. But she was
Isn't
impressive.
she was impressive. I saw the race, but the girl who came second, I can't remember.
Sasha Lee Forbes.
Sasha. Yeah, she pushed her quite a bit.
She pushed her hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, Sasha Lee was World University Games champion a few years ago. So, high hopes for her. But then she dropped off, and now she seems to be back. So it was 7.02 to 7.03. So as you said, a really, really close race.
Yeah.
You got to look out for those two this year. I mean, we haven't spoken about Brianna Williams or Kemba Nelson,
Diana
Natasha
pulled out
Morris.
of that race actually.
I thought that was a little surprising, actually. But I guess you can't take any chances.
She said she was some niggle she was having.
Just an eagle. But I mean, you can't take any chances. So, yeah, she pulled out. But it would have been interesting to see if she would have won the race. I think that was the key for me. Could she win the race? And I'm a little mixed as if she could have won it or not.
I'm a
Because
mixed. When I saw the times too, I was wondering.
yes, yes, could she come down to that? So It's going to be interesting this year. I think there's another meet coming up. I think next week that we may see her come out and see how well she does there. So yes, some really fast times. Over there, the European indoors is happening today, as I mentioned. It continues and closes today. But we saw victories for Mjinga Kambunji from Switzerland in the 60 meter. She did 7.00. So she's another one heading straight down into the 6 nines as well. We got Jakob Ingebrigtsen from Norway. As expected, he won the 1500 meters, and many expect him to double and win the 3000 meters today. As we talked about already, Tiam won the pentathlon and Pichado from Portugal. I mean, he's a Cuban who went to Portugal and he was world long jump champion and all of that. So he was very easy win. And he actually said he thought the competition would have been harder. So interesting times there. Today we're going to see if if Karsten Warholm can win the 400 meters and if Inga Brixton can come and win the 3000. So European indoor is still happening now in Istanbul, and it's going to be
Hmm.
very, very exciting today. So we can look forward to that. So we also saw some very fast times over there in England. You know, Keely Hodgkinson, who is determined to beat Mo and get the world record for the 800 meters, only 21. She ran 157.18 to set a national record and win the British Indoor Championship. So more people to look out for, England. I keep telling you, more
A
people to
lot.
look out for.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy, crazy, crazy this year. Um, so much going on in track and field. I can tell you
That's
that.
so I know there's a lot. Yeah.
So much going on in track and field. We can probably switch to some news and notes just to make sure we have time to talk about some soccer. And this thing about Russia must miss Paris. I mean, it's now gathering steam, Ingle. So we have
Gathering. Yeah.
34 nations. I don't know what your thoughts are on this because the Olympics is a big thing to boycott. So we have now 34 nations saying no, Russia can't go.
That's a lot of, yeah. I think it's all, well, we know it all comes down to the war, right? So,
It is. It
yeah.
is. And it
So
doesn't seem to be finishing anytime soon.
it's not going to finish. And I mean, I'm surprised that the war is going on so long, honestly.
Yeah,
But
true.
um, it's something that I think if 36 countries, a bunch of countries um, just boycott the Olympics, then there's no Olympics.
It would be, but I mean, the Jamaican president has come out and said Jamaica is not boycotting this.
Right.
Right? So I think in 1980 they didn't boycott either. I mean, the
In
U.S. led,
19, the
I
US
think it,
led boycott, yeah.
yeah, it was like 100 countries.
I
And
remember that because that's when, was that 1980? No, it was 76 that I think that Hazley Crawford won, right?
yeah,
76.
here's the Crawford one in 76.
And 80 was, yeah, I remember the 81 was Canada boycotted 80 as well, or they went,
I think they boycotted as
they
well.
boycott as well. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
correct.
And that is supposed to be the coming out for Carl Lewis. He did come back and win 84 and 88, but that was supposed to
Correct.
have been his first time. He was the big star then and never got a chance. So I I don't know. I think when you look at it, IOC member Valery Borzov, who won so many medals for the Soviet Union in 100 and 200 in the Olympics, he's come out and says, based on human values, it means Russia must miss Paris
That's best part.
2024. So for him as a big Russian, one of the biggest Russians in the 70s, to come out and say Russia must miss it, it's going to get more and more difficult if more Russians are going to come out and support.
A lot of sports are doing, and even like tennis, the Russians they just put a
Yeah,
white flag.
yeah, yeah.
So are they going to be allowed as neutral athletes?
That's what I think IOC wants to do. IOC
Mm.
wants to let them come as neutrals, but these 34 countries are saying no, not even as
Not even as
neutrals,
neutral.
not even
It's
as neutrals.
it's a shame. They have some good athletes, so it's a bit of a shame that
And
the
a lot of
athletes have to
athletes.
suffer because
Yeah,
of what the
yeah,
president is doing.
I know. And the thing about it is, Putin loves sports.
Yes, he
He's
does.
always there, and he's a sports lover. So they know it's difficult for him. I think that's part of the reason. But it's just tough, man. I mean, I don't want to boycott the Olympic Games, man. That's
No,
never
you
ever
want to
something to
see
do.
top athletes.
It's yeah, it's discouraging. But also, when you talk about world championships coming up, as I mentioned, there's so many hot races out there. Women sprints, I think we're going to see world records in the 200 and the 400 for women, maybe even in the 800 for women as well. The 400-meter hurdles, there's so much the 100-meter hurdles. So just women talk, and there's a lot going on. So we expect so much to happen, and I guess everybody has sort of jumped onto that because I was in Oregon and the seat sales weren't that great. Some days it wasn't that full. But in Budapest, so far in the first month of the tickets going on sale, they have already sold over 100,000 tickets, Inga. So I
Have you
don't know
got
if you'll
your
be able to
ticket
get
yet?
your ticket to get there now.
Have you bought yours yet?
No, I was like, oh my God, why am I
Well,
waiting around? I should have
you
jumped
gotta
on
wait.
already.
Yeah, especially to see the sprints.
Yes, yes. The
Yeah,
sprints on both sides of the fence and the hurdles and everything. So yes,
yeah,
it's like, whoa, whoa, that
yeah.
is crazy selling. Really,
It
really crazy
is.
selling.
Yeah.
In some sad news, hurling great Greg Foster, he passed away at the age of 64. He has been ill for a while, and he's been to many Olympics. 84, 88, he was there. Some classic races with Ronaldo Nehemiah. Very nice guy, very good athlete. I've seen him at the pen relays a couple of times. So very sad, fairly
Mm-hmm.
young age, only 64. So
64. Yeah. So yeah, I used to watch
condolences.
him sprint. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a pretty good guy, and now
Headless. Yeah.
he's gone,
Sad
but a very good hurdler. Yeah,
condolences. Yeah.
definite condolences to him. But that's
With
about it for track and field for now,
one
England. Not sure
quick
if you have more.
question before you leave track kind of field. I see Asafa Powell is doing some duties, some ambassadorial duties in Ghana. I think his wife is from Ghana,
Yes, so
and he's
she's actually
there.
Canadian. So yeah, but she's
Well,
from
Canadian.
Ghana, but yeah,
So,
she lived in Canada.
so are we to
But
expect that he said he's gonna visit some track and field and stuff. So is it gonna be a something he's gonna start doing and giving back to Ghana on
I
behalf of
was
his wife?
surprised, you know what? Because he hasn't participated a lot in Jamaican track and field, I must say.
Right.
He hasn't, but no, he went there and he was blown away with the support and all of that. And exactly what you said, he said he's gonna play a role in track and field. He may play it in Jamaica as well, based on what he's saying now.
Mm-hmm.
That he's realizing that he has a spot in this sport that he should be able to give back, and he wants to give back. So, yeah, he's saying he's going to help out Ghana. He's
Yeah,
going to
man.
be there for them, and he's going to be there for the Jamaicans as well. So, look forward to seeing Asafa because before he was always a man sort of to himself, but I think he's broken out of his shell. He has his little video talk show on YouTube now, and
Yes, I was watching that yesterday.
so, but yeah, he's now out there and he's doing really well, and they love him in Ghana. They
For
gave him a
sure.
hero's welcome, and he's certainly going to be doing a lot for them, he said. So looking forward to seeing that.
Great. With 6 minutes to go, Roger, so we can just do some wrap up and talk about some soccer. And
Yeah, so in the soccer, Canada women is going at war with the Canadian Soccer Association.
but
The president resigned, and they put in a former Olympian she's actually from
yes,
Manchester, Jamaica, but she
yeah,
represents Canada, Charmaine
Charmaine
Crooks,
Crooks, yeah, she's ahead. Yeah.
interim president, and she made a deal right away. So they have set up an agreement now with them, which is a good start. I mean, I think the teams are saying they want a permanent leader, blah 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 blah. But for
Mm-hmm.
now, interim is good, and she got it done right away. So kudos to her. She's an awesome lady, I can tell you that. And
Yes.
I'm happy, happy, happy for her getting this opportunity, and she's showing that she can actually do the job. So we'll see how well she does.
Mm-hmm.
Over there in Barcelona, and I'm not sure what you think about this, Ingle. So Ronaldinho was a superstar for Barcelona 10, 15 years ago. One of the world's greatest players from Brazil.
Yeah.
I haven't heard much about his son. Don't know much about his son. And unless I saw this article, I would not have known about his son. But yeah, they signed his son just based on him. Is that something you think they should have done, or is that the way to go?
I was actually surprised. I just said I don't know his son. Never heard him that he had a son playing soccer, and then yeah, to see that I was a bit surprised. But there must be something special about him for them to pick him
I'm
up,
wondering, or is it just to gather
or
crowds?
just to gather crowds and to
Yeah,
get people.
people out. I mean, this is Ronaldinho's son, and Ronaldinho is going to be around to watch his son. And I know,
Uh,
but I haven't heard about his son doing anything. I've never heard him
Never
being
heard
mentioned
him mentioned
mentioned
anywhere.
to make the Brazilian team. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
But the president of the club is saying he looks to be a great player. So
Yeah,
let's see.
yeah. I don't know where that came from, but I mean, if he was, they would have heard about him. But let's see. I really hope for the best, and I think it'll be very interesting to see Ronaldinho's son become a superstar like his dad.
For
So
sure.
that would be awesome to see. So we'll see how that goes. In something weird, England, I'm shocked about this because Lionel Messi is like a hero in Argentina, but gunmen from his community where he grew up They went and they shut up his in-law supermarket and left a
Yeah,
message that they're waiting for Messi to come.
yeah, that was shocking. And they also told him don't even look for help from the
Mayor.
mayor because the mayor is a drug man too.
Yeah, that's what they said. So
Yeah,
I'm a little confused, when I saw what happened in Jamaica with Usain Bolt, who's a hero there, and his money got robbed up, and now Messi, they're threatening to kill him. I don't
yeah.
understand what's going on. These
But
are superstars. These things doesn't happen to them, or does it?
they're saying that the mayor is saying that they just want to show power and show that they can do whatever they want. So
Yeah,
but
scary.
yeah, it's scary though, because I mean, you just celebrated him as a hero,
Exactly.
and now you're threatening to kill him.
World Football of the Year trophy on top of that, and so
They
many Argentinians won it. So Argentina should be on a high now, not getting down to these lows.
no, they shouldn't. Are they looking
It's
for something from him? And he said no. And
I'm guessing.
yeah,
I'm guessing. You can't say no to these guys, eh?
yeah,
So unfortunate. Well, just quickly before we go, the English Premier League, Arsenal, they are failing, but they haven't failed really as yet. Ingle, they're still 5 points ahead. So
five, yeah.
they're holding on. Give them credit for that. And this weekend, we're going to see Manchester United, who has won their first trophy. And many people are saying they're still in line to win three more. What they're gonna do, they're gonna be playing Liverpool on Sunday, and I don't know where your money's gonna be since Chelsea's not doing anything. Who are you going for this weekend? Man U or Liverpool?
Manu, I think Manu will beat Liverpool.
Yeah, they're on a roll right now, and they're in the runnings for the Premier League as well. They're 8 points behind, but they have a game in hand. So let's see if they
But
win and catch up.
Arsenal is actually down halftime now in
Yeah,
this
but
game.
let's see if
And
they, what I say
Bournemouth,
about them. It's a new Arsenal. They seem to be able to find a way to win. So yes,
yeah,
I saw that. And I'm like, okay, should I be worried or should the Arsenal people be worried? So
but they should be. I think they'll be okay.
they normally find a way to win. But if they don't, then they're going to be in trouble because I think City was winning their game.
City won today, yeah,
Yeah. So
two nothing over Newcastle.
yeah. So
Um, Chelsea leads 0-0. So don't
oh,
even. I'm not even paying attention to
they
Chelsea
said
this year.
Chelsea's all this money they spend is
They
going to pay off
spent.
in 3 years from now.
Let,
Anytime soon. So you got to be
let's hope
patient,
so.
England. You got to be very,
Oh
very.
yeah, you can't be building for the same year. So yeah,
Well, it better be next year. You can't be. It's a lot of money to spend and get
it's a
nothing
lot of
for
money
3 years.
to spend for nothing. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
for 3 years. I don't know if it's a good investment, but they're confident that they will be fine.
Just a minute left, Roger. So we just to wrap up. If there's anything else, I saw you mentioned quickly about the lack of black managers in the
Yes,
football.
yeah, that's
That's
a
reign.
whole discussion, which I said maybe we should just push
We
it to
should
next
put it
week
for next
because
week. Yeah,
it's
because
a huge discussion. It's even
and
bigger than I thought.
and actually something once you want to say that I also like, which I would like to have a discussion on, is there's a trial actually ongoing about Yorkshire Cricket Club and its racism, and
Oh,
it's also involved former England captain Michael Vaughan
oh,
about him telling the players that there's a lot of you out there, there's a lot of you in here, and we got to do something about it. And he's
oh my
denying that
God.
he said that to them.
Oh
So
no, that's
that,
low.
yeah, the trial is ongoing right now. So that's something we can discuss and touch on next week as
For
well.
sure, we got to get Theo involved because I know Theo is passionate about this
Yeah,
topic.
yes, for
So that's gonna be
sure.
a huge discussion.
And,
Soccer, cricket, it's all happening.
and tomorrow, Formula One back on.
Formula One back on.
And
Fernando Alonso looking as the leader right now. Verstappen right behind, but my money's still on Mr. Lewis Hamilton. Let's see if he can do it.
it's the second qualifying is ongoing now, and it's Charles Leclerc who's at top right
Up
now.
right
So
now.
yeah, it's
Interesting.
Hamilton was in third, but he's gone down to seventh. So
Yeah, he bounced back.
not for this race for sure. I think his car for some reason is not as quick as the others.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah,
All right, folks. Wonderful, wonderful talk today. Lots of sports, lots going on. But next week we'll be back to bring it right to your living room, bring it right to your phone, bring it right to your computers. Love Bay Afrobeat Music Radio Talk Show, the Roger and Ingle Sports Show Hour. We're out. Have a wonderful weekend.
take care, everyone.